What's going on, Duck Nation? This is UODuckBros here, back with another video, and this time we are doing the recap of Week 2, Virginia.
Yeah, that was a dumpster fire in a hurry.
Hey, remember when, this is my favorite part, remember all over Twitter, Virginia fans, oh, we're going to shock the world! Oh, we're going to beat Oregon! Oh, man!
Yeah, that went over well.
Yeah, remember when they thought they were going to do it for like 3 downs until Mariota went and ran and scored on about 70.
Yeah, and then you saw all their fans just sitting there like,
they're like, oh, damn it, we lost.
Not to mention the fact that they probably, were trying to figure out how fast Oregon was really going to be until they actually saw it.
Yeah.
And then they realized the team had no chance. It must really suck to be demoralized in less than a minute.
Yeah. So, in which case, what were your thoughts on the game?
I liked it. Obviously, we won big, but, obviously 11 penalties for 119 yards. Definitely needs to get cleaned up.
That's not something you want to have. Not at all.
Linebackers still kind of an issue, although I think they played much better this week than they did the week before. So that just shows that with game experience, they're going to continue to get better. So,
which always seems to play in Oregon's favor as time goes on during the season.
Right.
And probably for every school, really.
Mariota still isn't quite there yet with the touch passes. He's still a little off. 14 of 28 isn't that great. But on the road, if you're still throwing for over 50%, I'll take that. And we're winning.
The thing about that, though, is it wasn't necessarily
They had a lot of drops.
There were a lot of drop passes, and that's something that you can't have. I mean, it's really weird. There's only so much that you can nitpick when your team wins 59-10, which, by the way, our predictions that we had were pretty damn close, were they not? He said 55-10. I said 56-10. That's only 3 and 4 points off.
55-17 is what I said.
Did you?
I actually had the 17, but they took the 17 away. So then it became...
Well, either way. Okay, so I was closer then.
He was closer.
I win! There it is. So, when your team wins by 7 touchdowns, there's not really a lot that you can nitpick, and it's really weird to say that we struggled and still racked up 59 points. But there were parts that were kind of an issue, and
running the ball up the middle was a problem consistently.
That was the big problem.
I felt like Byron Marshall at times just was not running with the authority that he was in the first game, and maybe it was just a byproduct of
Nicholls State versus Virginia.
Yeah, the competition was just a step up, and they had bigger alignment, and they're a Division I school, and they come from a power conference. So there's probably something to that, but
and also, in all honesty, Virginia has a pretty decent front seven. I'm not going to sit here and say they sucked, but they definitely, they're obviously not like Alabama caliber either, but it's definitely a much more significantly different and better team than what we just played a couple weeks ago.
But the outside was there all game. DeAnthony was able to get outside and stretch it to the line, and we were able to get out on the perimeter and do our thing. And so, if that's what we have to do going forward for here on out the rest of the season, if the middle just isn't there, we have the speed edge on just about everyone. So if that's what we have to do, then that's what we'll do. But overall, it was a really good win. I thought there was a lot of pluses there. I thought our receivers, for the most part, outside of Colt Lyerla, played pretty well. I thought DeAnthony had a really solid game. Marcus had a really solid game. The defense played really well. Had a couple picks. They had
that almost like 105-yard pick six guy.
Dior Math.
He ran probably like 120-something yards, though, because he cut it back all the way across the field.
That was really nice.
But, hey, that also set up Thomas Tyner's first touchdown of the season, which was awesome.
Yeah, that brings us to the fact that, the most anticipated player, I think, that we recruited last year.
Easily.
Finally got some touches, and you get to see what we all, knew he was capable of anyway, and he just comes out there, 4 or 5 rushes, gets 55 yards and a couple touchdowns, and you see the flashes that you wanted to see and that you saw in high school. He's just fast. He's a big kid.
And
he's got good vision. He can cut. He's everything so far that we thought he would be.
That 31-yard touchdown run of his, I mean, you could even tell that he wasn't even running at full speed when he broke through the middle. He just kind of jogged really fast up the middle, and he was untouched. It was amazing. And I think that we're going to see a lot more of that in next week's game against Tennessee. Oh boy, I can't wait for that. So it's exciting to see that, he's obviously healthy enough to get out there and play, and they had enough confidence to let him do that. And like he already mentioned a little bit, the one concern outside of running the ball up the middle, which I think that'll come later. I think that just when you face something that's that different, it's gonna happen sometimes. I mean, obviously, DeAnthony and Byron Marshall aren't the same up the middle type of runners, or they don't have the same type of talent running up the middle that Kenyon Barner and LaMichael James had. So it's gonna happen. I mean, that's gonna happen.
Part of that is a byproduct, though, of the fact that you don't know because you've never played Virginia before, and you're not going to know, going forward until you get into conference play, really, because in conference play you play them every year, so you kind of know what to expect. And I think that's when we're really going to start hitting our stride, because
you know what people are going to do, you know what they have, you know what they don't have.
So we're looking forward to this week coming up. Big game, SEC, of course, Pac-12. SEC is always going to be one of those things where no matter who it is that comes into town or whoever it is we go play against on the road, whether you're Tennessee, whether you're Texas A&M or Alabama, we hate you guys, so it's just going to be a big game for us.
But that, my friends, is for another video.
Right.
So pretty much the big focus and the big thing to draw out of this is that essentially Oregon completely fucked around and got 59 points. Even though it wasn't a very pretty 59 points at times, it still happened. The only two concern points, running up the middle and linebacker play. I mean, that's something that...
Which still wasn't that bad, and if you're wanting to find a bright spot in that, Rodney Hardrick
is awesome.
I think he had 15 tackles by himself, which was absolutely phenomenal. And I'll continue to say it because going forward, I think any team that's going to be playing the Oregon Ducks and gets into the second level area or is going to be trying to catch passes needs to watch out for number 4. That guy absolutely brings it, Eric Gargan.
Oh, yeah.
And he's headhunting, he's bringing it, and this kid just impresses me every single week. And playmakers all over the board, as far as the DBs are concerned. Efo's not getting a lot of play right now, but that's just because they're not really throwing his way because he's just got that reputation. And the other guys are forced to step up, and I've been really pleased so far with how everybody else has contributed, whether it was Avery Patterson or whether it was Terrence Mitchell or Dior Mathis or Eric Dargan. I just think going forward we have a lot to look forward to. And
the only thing to clean up is, giving up those little dump-off passes and right down the middle. That seems to be open a lot, and I know they're going to eventually fix that. It's just that something that you see it 2 weeks in a row, and you're kind of like, why haven't they gotten on that yet? But again, it's an adjustment thing, and they'll get to it. I mean, you're still playing a couple of guys that haven't really been in the regular rotation very much, and so it's something that they have to learn. They have to have the discipline to hold your spots and keep an eye on the tight ends that are obviously going to streak right in that area when there's nobody there. So
right.
Something that you definitely, when you start playing this, like the Stanfords of the world that utilize a lot of tight end play, you got to make sure that you're not giving a lot of really open looks like that. But other than that, the defense is doing really well. The run defense was, outside of that 145 whatever yard touchdown it was that we gave up, it was pretty solid. So not a lot of things to nitpick at, but those were the only things that stood out. Drop passes. So other than that, before we ramble too much, because we kind of started to. So that was week 2. Virginia, stick to basketball, guys. I mean, just it was cute. It really was. But there was no shocking the world for you, nor will it really ever happen ever. You've done it, what was it, one time in your history of your school?
2-17-1.
Yeah. So
Not
it was
very good.
Yeah, and so you didn't make it 3, and that's all that matters. So in light of that, this is UODuckBros saying, you guys have a nice evening, and we'll have another video up pretty quick. Looking forward to Tennessee. So, go Ducks, my friends, and we'll talk at you later.